Hello everyone, and this is a quick guide on how to summit the Great Solemn Tempest. And if you already tried Solemn Tempest a few times, this video can be used just to clear things up and maybe give some tips that will definitely help you do better next time you try it. I've got this cute little Google Slides presentation going on there just to help me illustrate things and stuff. Wouldn't be really interesting just staring at a blank screen the whole time. This video also presumes that you have already picked up every single collectible in the game and have infinite chalk, coffee, double-length ropes, the pipe, and whatnot. Anyway, tip number one is, well, it's not really a tip, more of a fun fact, but the Great Bulwark is actually just a tutorial for Solemn Tempest. It teaches you basically everything that awaits you on the Solemn Tempest. Mainly ice, which requires ice access to grab onto, which might seem confusing at first, but once you get used to it, it's not that bad. Alongside that, it does teach you other stuff, but we'll talk about it later into the video. So let's get to the real tips that are going to help you. Actual tip number one is, I think, the most important one to tell new players who have never touched Solemn Tempest like ever. It's that you are not going to summit Solemn Tempest on your first, second, or third try. Do not even think about it. That is not going to happen. Now, I've once read advice on the wiki page for Solemn Tempest when I was new to the game that said that you have to not use ropes until at least 3,000 meters up. What it forgets to specify is that this advice only applies to people who already have experience with Solemn Tempest. Now, here's an actual tip that will help you. Do not be afraid to use ropes ever. It does not matter how far you're into the mountain. 500 meters, 1000 meters, 2000-meter ice wall. Use ropes if you feel like you need to. You need to practice these sections. Now, you might ask me, but wait, why would I use all of my ropes before even reaching half of the mountain? Wouldn't I want to preserve them until I'm higher into the mountain? And here's where this tip becomes helpful. Don't think that you're going to summit Solemn Tempest on your first try. Just like I said, that is not happening, dude. Trust me. Solemn Tempest is one of those mountains that you do not summit in one day. It'll most likely take you 4 or 5 days. And if you play this way, with each day you're going to get higher and higher without as many ropes as you used the previous day. Try setting goals for every day. Now, I don't really remember my first summit on Solemn Tempest, but it looked something like this. Instead of trying to go for the entire mountain in one go, try setting your own milestones every day. You might not want to set the same goals as I set here, because this experience differs from person to person, and you might take like maybe 2 or several weeks. Again, don't take this graph at face value, and out of this tip actually pours out another tip, which is tip number 2. If you're feeling like you're tired or you fell from somewhere really high, please, for the love of God, just place down a bivouac, whatever, and take a break. Do not try and rush back where you fell from. Now, this may sound counterintuitive to some people. Like, why would you take a break when you're already this warmed up? Wouldn't you just get worse after the break? And here's actually the reason. After long sessions of playing this game, your fingers and wrists will hurt. No exceptions. And this actually really hinders your ability to move your mouse, even if you might not notice it. Letting yourself rest will bring positive things, and since you have ropes, warming up won't be that much of an issue if you're still worried about it. Just remember to take breaks. It'll save you so much nerves and time. Now on to tip 3, which is, if you start falling, do not panic. Nothing good ever comes from that. Instead, look down and look for something to hold on to. Now, on Solemn Tempest, this doesn't always work because I'm going to be brutally honest here. Solemn Tempest is very unforgiving with its falls. There is not a lot of falls where it's actually recoverable, but there are some. And if you happen to fall and you didn't rope because you were too confident in yourself, do not panic. Look for holds instead. You really don't want to. Believe me, dude. Additional tip on top of that is when you fall, try using your crampons. It will slightly slow down your fall if you're falling for 2 or 3 seconds already. If you just started falling, it might even boost you up a little bit. So remember that you have crampons and you can use them while not attached to anything. And speaking of crampons, here's tip number 4. Learn how to climb better without using crampons, only using your hands. Now, I would understand if you just said this tip is just straight up detrimental. What the hell are you talking about? But even though crampons are literally required to climb like 80% of Solemn Tempest, in reality, this is quite a lot of sections where you can't use crampons. And if you're really used to using only your crampons for jumps, this might pose a big problem for you. Try out boulders a couple more times. They will really make you better at using your hands. Now I'm not saying completely abandon crampons and never use them ever again. Actually, it's the contrary. Use crampons as much as possible. They give you a lot of height in comparison to regular throws, and they even give you the ability to get a break, just living thing in the wall, and you can rest. I'm just saying that you need to be ready for situations where crampons won't be able to help you out, because there are quite a lot of those on this Solemn Tempest. And now for the final tip number 5, which is like very obvious, but I just wanted to make it 5 tips. So the tip is use chalk as much as possible. I know that most of you are already using chalk on every single crimp, which is very correct, since chalk actually immensely trivializes Solemn Tempest. But maybe some people still forget about it. I don't know. In conclusion, all I really want to say is that Solemn Tempest is a monster of a mountain, and it's a very, very huge step up from any other peak in the game. It's completely okay to feel frightened by this climb, because it will hugely increase your skill in the game. You will be a completely different Scottish climber after climbing this thing, and the next thing that is going to await you is you fall you die mode and free solo mode. You fall you die mode isn't actually going to be that bad because you're still going to be allowed to use items. However, free solo mode on the other hand is very, very painful. But I'm not gonna talk about it in this video because free solo mode deserves a completely separate video. Anyway, I really hope these tips helped anyone who watched this video, and I wish all of you summiters out there to conquer this mountain. It will take time, but it's gonna be worth it. Trust me.